We're doing it, baby. Welcome back. Glad you made it. It's another so production. We're doing it. It is Friday, January the 6th. 2023, yes. Man, oh man. Ladies and gents, welcome back, boys and girls, wherever you are. If you're just tuning in, it's your first time, buckle up, buckle down. Subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Instagram, check out patreon.com/RobSadri every Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. It's where the fire is at. You want the smoke, you come here, you get the smoke. You want that smoke? We're sending smoke. We're creating smoke. We're rubbing rocks together, rocks and stones and a little bit of wood as well. I don't know how to, I'm just saying we're creating fire together. We're igniting. We're taking off, baby. Little by little, we're doing it together. Thank you very much. And if you've been with me for some time now, thank you very much for all the love and support. Wherever you are in and around this beautiful planet, whether you're in Toronto, whether you're out there in the West Coast, whether you're down south, as always, in the US, in Mexico, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa, Antarctica, Papua New Guinea, New Zealand, Australia, you name it. If you're a human, if you got limbs, if you're walking about on this little blue marble, we're a gang, we're a crew, we're one beautiful family. And I see you out there, and I thank you and I appreciate you for being you. You individual, beautiful bastards. Ladies and gents, we're doing it. It's Friday. I am in a little bit of pain, but I'm liking it. Pain where, you say? Well, let's just put it this way. What are teeth anyway? Teeth are essentially popcorn in your face hole. Essentially, teeth are the popcorn of the mouth, and little by little they come out, and I've had all my teeth come in. Thank you very much. It's been some time, 33 years on this planet. You'd have all your teeth, but I think it's the last batch, it's the last stretch of the old gums. Wisdom teeth, man. I'm talking about them wisdom teeth. It sucks. One of the wisdom teeth that's like 3/4 from all sides have come out. It's the last quarter, I guess, last corner, I should say, as well, that's popping out, and I see it. I see my little gum just flapping about there. It's just, oh, we gotta make space for this little tooth to come out, and it's like, oh gosh. Some people get them removed. I've been to the dentist and he's like, you got a big mouth, man. He didn't put it that way. It's more like, you got a big jaw. He didn't actually even say that. You had a decent sized jaw is what he said. Somebody said that, I remember that. And I'm like, do I need to ever get my wisdom teeth removed? And he's like, nah, you can keep them. So I'm keeping mine, man, but it hurts a little bit, but that's whatever. That's just growing pains. You know what it is, baby. Can't be growing anymore in height, which sucks. I'll tell you that. If I could gain a couple of inches here and there, arms, feet, just vertical in general, an inch on the old peen. You know what I'm talking about? If that happens, I'll be happy. But yeah, that's, oh man, an extra inch on your peen because of like wisdom. How come we never got that going? Oh, I'm gonna give you, you're now like fully, that's what it is, fully wisdomed out. Give you a full extra set of wisdom teeth. Give me wisdom peen, dude. You know what I mean? Like an extra inch, half an inch, a quarter inch. Just for like being on Earth for a certain period of time. You know what I'm talking about, ladies, gents? Yeah? Boys and girls, we're doing it, man. It doesn't matter. We'll get through it. I'm pretty sure it's gonna take a few days for it to like heal and everything, but should be okay by Monday. But we are rocking and rolling, baby. And you want the smoke, you come get the smoke. Or overall, you know what I'm talking about. Just, breathe that air. Fresh air is good for you. What else is going on in and around this beautiful planet? Lots of stuff, lots of exciting events. Michael B. Jordan is having his license removed to practice psychology. Michael B. Jordan, if I'm not mistaken. It's either Michael B. Jordan or Jordan B. Peterson. Dr. Jordan B. Peterson or Michael B. Jordan. One of the names are very similar. I'm going to go with Michael B. Jordan's having his license removed to practice, being threatened to have his license removed to, stop him from practicing psychology and psychiatry. I know things. I know people. I look a person up and down. I'm like, that person's a doctor. One of the two. One of the two is definitely a doctor, and the other one could definitely play a doctor, a good doctor. Maybe he is a doctor. I don't know. Maybe they're both doctors. But the point is, Dr. Jordan Peterson, I think. Maybe that's the one. Maybe that's the one. Okay, I may be wrong. Check it for yourself. But he's being threatened to have his license revoked, removed if he fails to go under some sort of, re-education program, which is very, Clockwork Orange-esque, if you will. You got to sit down and go through re-education. And this man, if we're talking about education, man, Dr. Jordan Peterson, very similar to Michael B. Jordan, Dr. Michael B. Jordan, these people have dedicated their lives to getting all the education. In terms of education, maxed out to the gills, edumacated, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, alongside his colleague, Michael B. Jordan, famous world doctor, another famous doctor. Point is, fam, that let me just quickly, I'm not gonna get too in depth into like what is going on, but we'll discuss it because it is of relevance to each and every one of us. Ontario College of Psychology demands retraining for Jordan Peterson. That's what it is. That's what I'm reading right now. That's what you guys just heard. You guys might have heard it somewhere else. You guys might have read it. You guys might have. It's interesting, man. It is interesting. Man, where do we even begin with this one? Where do we even begin with it? Like, I need everybody to, like, this is why it's important for me to, talk about this, if I may. Because all of us, no matter what we're doing, no matter what we're doing, we're all dependent on a free society, a society that allows you to speak your mind, to express yourself, to stretch out your limbs, to stretch out your mouth, say things, think things, do things. And yeah, man, it's tricky. It's tricky. It's a slippery slope. And here's the thing. I don't know Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. Dr. Peterson. Yes, I don't know. Like, I've seen him a few times on the lines. Seems like a very smart fella. He's a doctor, I'll tell you that. He's a smart doctor. He's Canadian, and that's one thing that, like, that just twists my little titties. I'll tell you that much when I hear news like that. Because in Canada, overall in the world, there aren't too many people that are willing to, have opinions, do things, help people in different ways. Maybe in ways that are not so, aligned with the quote-unquote status quo or mainstream or whatever the trend is at the time. Some people sometimes have different opinions. They do their practices different. That doesn't mean that they're, that's the thing. I'm talking about education. I'm talking about levels of education. Again, full out doctor, been practicing doctoring for over 20 years. And only as of recent times, he's come under some heat and pressure because he's picked up a little bit of, what I'm talking about, that, whatever you want to, he's got a little bit of, he's got that juice, baby. He's got the smoke. You want the smoke, you go to Dr. Peterson. I don't think he smokes, but he's capable of creating that smoke with a good kind of smoke. The smoke in your life that is like, man, I need to, like, turn this ship around, skirt, that kind of smoke. Or I need to, like, man, and it's like, it depends. I've listened to him during his lectures sometimes, talking to different people. He's a nice dude. Seems like a really genuinely nice dude, and that's the thing, man. If I can, as a matter of fact, no, I do know Dr. Jordan B. Peterson very well, and when I know a person really well, I can tell you, this particular individual, when him and his family are not busy eating meat and meat only, he is helping millions of people around the planet. So that's the thing that I know about Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. And he's a Canadian fella, and it just twists my titties because, like, man, speaks a lot on our institutions in Canada right now. And, like, that's the time. It's the time. 2023 is all about change and, like, oh yeah, brand new something, same old, a little bit of same old, but brand new attitudes, brand new horizon. Let us cross this bridge together. Let us walk across let's create a bridge. Let's bridge the gap. Mind the gap? Purchase clothing items at the Gap should you decide on your own free will. Get rid of gaps. Like, if there's a space with a gap in it, the gap's not supposed to be there, take out the gap. Like, get rid of the gap, shorten the gap, Sometimes you need to widen the gap. You need to, sometimes allow a little bit of room for air, for the smoke to get out. You got to just widen the gap. What else are gaps good for? Gaps, so maybe you got gap teeth. That's fine. Your gap tooth. They called you Gabby Gap Tooth. Gabby Gap Tooth right there. And you can whistle while you're talking, which is pretty sweet. Not going to lie to you. So, there's, that's pretty much it. That's all I got on gap for the time being. But the point is, what are we even talking about, ladies and gentlemen? The point is, this is very alarming because, again, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, maybe I should stop saying all his initials. Dr. Peterson, Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan Peterson, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. You know what? I'll stick with I like the B in there. The B, I've seen the B, I'm going to put the B in there. And I like people with like 3 names. I don't know what it is. Just saying. Or 3, 3 initials. There's something about 3 initials. 4, now you're just like, now you're pushing it, fella, lady. But Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, unless he's got another, initial in there or a name in there that I'm unaware of, and now he qualifies for one of those individuals with like 4 initials, which, cool beans, no problem, that's fine too. Let us focus on what is at matter, what is at hand, what is at foot, what is on the table. The table is being turned, is essentially what 2023 is about. Turntables, that's what I was getting at. It's about music, it's about turning tables. It's about reversing it, flipping it, reversing it, and talking about it, because that's what it is, man. If a person who's been practicing medicine for 20 years has not had any complaints, has not had any sort of like actual, people like his clients, the people that are actually making the complaints are probably, apparently, as far as I'm concerned, they're not even like clients of his. They're not even like, legitimate patients or anything like that. It's just people that might have heard a tweet or might have heard something somewhere and got offended, or chose to get offended rather, because that's essentially what we do with words. And yeah, specifically when we're talking about words, people choose, if you want to get offended at anything, you can get offended at anything. That's your right. And then to take action after that, to have somebody removed or a license revoked or all this needs to just be flipped and reversed, which is not the flipping and reversing would result in a reverse, turning of the tables, which will just be like, remove their license, and then you can turn around and be like, well, let's remove your license, and all of a sudden we're like, why do we even have licenses? Which is good. It's good to have licenses, safety, standards, procedures, what have you. But once somebody's licensed and been practicing for 20 years, and doing it really well, millions of people being helped, a lot of steak, a lot of meat being eaten, which is, I don't know if there's a correlation, but like I don't see other professors and doctors, like I don't see any, professor or doctor who's just solely like living on sun gazing, let's say, impacting millions of people. Not that I'm aware of anyway, and that's the only thing that they do. They're like, I don't need to eat anything. I just stare into the sun. You're going blind, man. You're going blind. It's like, no, I can see much better now. My other senses are much better. They're stronger. Or something. I don't know. The point is, Dr. Jordan B. Peterson is a nice dude, and we should be, that's somebody we should be getting behind, not getting in front of, getting behind as a community. And I believe most Canadians do feel, I don't know what it is. It's a little bit of our institutions sometimes are susceptible to being compromised to ideologies and dogmatic thinking, and just like, if somebody doesn't agree with us, we gotta like shut it down. We gotta like, go in there but that's, at this point, what I'll say about this particular, it's concerning to me because, yeah, if a figure like that who is, he's a popular figure, he's in the, whatchamacallit, he's in the, he's in the zeitgeist, he's in the realm of public relevance, but that's the thing, if we start coming after people like him, what does that mean for individuals who don't have that level of, I guess, everybody's got different levels of voices, everybody's doing different things. What about the average folk? What does it say about the average person when we're coming in and saying this is a person who's on the grand scheme of things seems to be very helpful to a lot of individuals? We're going to shut this person down and not let them think or say what they want just because we may not agree with this. What does that say about regular, quote unquote, well, everybody's regular, but you know what I mean, like the person that's just like, going about their life. What is that overall message to society? What are we saying here? What are we doing here? That's something that I'm a little bit, it twisted my titties, but then I'm cool with it because I likes it a little bit. When you twist my titties, that's when the smoke come out. That's when the smoke come out. You don't want the smoke, you leave them titties alone. But at the same rate, I like the titties to be just a little bit just right there. You know what I'm talking about? So I make fire. Friction. Titties. Two things you need to make fire, man. Friction and titties. Heard it here first. Maybe heard it other places as well, and sometimes that's cool too. That's fine. Point is, use it to your advantage. Now you're out there in the middle of nowhere. You're like, what do I need? A little bit of friction, a little bit of titties, and boom, you got fire. Point is, it just like, yeah, I was a little bit like, man, we need more individuals like Jordan. Like our society would be better off with more individuals like Jordan B. Peterson in different positions, whether it be in school, whether it be in medicine, whether it be in, I don't know, law enforcement, whatever. I'm just saying it's good to have different types of opinions in people. You know what I mean? And we should be championing each other instead of coming down on each other and be like, oh, I didn't particularly agree with this one thing you said there. I'm going to be like, oh, get in my feelings and give myself the right to, come after you and want to remove you and like revoke your license and essentially come after your livelihood over words. Which, man, it is, yeah, it's a little bit of that I see, which just like, what are we doing here? And then that's when the smoke comes out. That's when the smoke comes out, baby. So I got a little bit excited about that. Not in the sense that this is exciting. It is exciting news, I guess it is. It's stimulating rather, stimulating to the senses. It gets you thinking. Because man, it's like retraining. Oh, if you say something here in an off, we're gonna have to send you to retraining. And it's like we're all, just follow the old common sense if applicable. If that a lot of times they do say common sense is not actually that prevalent in society, but that's fine. That's fine. We bring it back because they sometimes organizations, sometimes institutions wanna come down and be like, man, don't listen to what makes sense inside you. What's your gut saying? What's your gut saying? And your gut's saying, man, be supportive of each other, love each other. Get happy for individuals who are succeeding in life, who are for the most part being good role models in society, and and that's the thing. Instead of doing that, we go and be like, oh man, they said something on Twitter or whatever. You know what I mean? So I just like, that's when the fire comes out. Boys and girls, ladies and gents, what else is going on that is exciting? So yeah, man, I say and to conclude a little bit about just this whole, those are my feelings, those are my thoughts on the matter. But to conclude, I say we let Michael B. Jordan practice psychology and psychiatry alongside his colleague Dr. Jordan B. Peterson. These two gentlemen are prominent members of the medical community, and they are of high value in society overall. That's what I wanted to say about that. Leave those two individuals be. Let them practice medicine. And that's come from I'm a real fake doctor myself, so I don't practice in real life. But man, put me in another jurisdiction where I can easily get away with a printed license that I found online with a fake institution and a date of issue, let's say, on the certification with a nice little stamp and a signature. Nobody would know. I practice, dude. What I'm saying is like, from doctor to doctor, or from real fake doctor to real doctors. From a doctor without borders, from a real fake doctor without really any borders, to all doctors. Shout out to the good ones. Shout out to and most of them are good. Most people are trying their best to be of assistance and of service. So that's just what it is. It's like, man, I think, yeah, my 2 cents on the whole matter is like, it's redunk. Forget about the whole like, what are you trying to achieve here? What are you trying to achieve by revoking a man's license here? or threatening to, at least. I don't think it's that easy. You can just be like, oh, I got offended by something, so somebody needs to go through a, arbitrary retraining program, which is like, which is ambiguous. What does that even mean? What does that mean? Where do you draw the line? And should they even, what does that mean? You go down and you get retrained, man. You've done the training where you got to get retrained. And then what if you're like, okay, I'll do the retraining hypothetically. And then what if somebody's like, oh, that's not good enough retraining. We're going to have to retrain you again. And you didn't meet this qualification. And that's, that's what it is, man. Sometimes, again, going back to, I guess, a little bit of the last video, we just need to let people operate in their field of profession properly so that they can do the best job that they can. And yes, of course, if there's ever any situation where there's like legitimate concern, but that's not the case here at all. That is not the case here at all. But that's what it is, man. So that's my 2 cents on the matter. But next, let us speak a little bit about the times. What is going on? I did see a little news video, which resembles actually a little bit of what I'm seeing in real life as well. It's just a little, it's a video of somebody going to a grocery store shopping for chicken breasts, chicken breast assists, chicken tits, chicken teats, the goods, the protein bags of nature. And the prices on these chicken breasts are, they're up there, man. It's like $37, I think, for like 5 chicken breasts or something, which is redunk. And I've seen that myself going shopping. I'm sure a lot of you guys have seen that. And I think this is being, I don't know what it is. But the whole point was, what do we do about this? What do we do about this rise of prices for goods and services? And also, and in relation to that, also the price of housing. And this is something that we've talked about previously many a times on this beautiful show. And yeah, that's definitely a concern, man. I mean, inflation, housing, affordability, overall cost of life affordability in Canada. I can't really speak for anywhere else, but it is, I'm pretty sure it's similar yet different in many shapes and forms. Having said that, once you see $37 for 5 chicken tits, what are the options? And people are like, well, what do? You got to be like, okay, today I'm not having chicken tits. I can't give my family chicken tits today. I'll come back tomorrow or maybe the next day in hopes of it having gone down a little bit. You can do that. That's something that's been advised. But what if you've come back several days and it's still not, because then it's not this, it's this drastic jump that we've seen in the prices as well. And I just wonder what are we to do about that? And the suggestion was and that's the thing, and this is not on the people. I like the fact that people are talking about these things, but the solutions being, I guess, put forth or being implemented. Like, what do you do when you see something that's really expensive, i.e. chicken tits? Well, there's an app for that. You can get an app for that. And check prices across the, now there's an app for that. There's an app for that. If there's an expensive chicken here, get an app. Find a cheaper chicken, go get that cheaper chicken via them apps. And this is, it takes a little bit of time and effort, they say. And, and then you now we got chicken apps. Apps checking chickens prices, chicken titty prices out there. Apps for chicken, that's what it is. Apps for the price of chicken tits and thighs and all the goods, all of it is, I'm sure it's in there. It's not just but that's what it is. There's an app for almost everything. And yes, sometimes there's an app for that. Certain apps make life easy, but at one point, where do we what if I just want to walk into a store and just purchase something without having to think about, man, am I gonna have to spend a whole afternoon researching and finding what is the most affordable chicken breast, and then this place has the chicken breast. But if you want to buy chicken breast, then cabbage. Now you gotta check the price on. There's an app for cabbage. There's a cabbage app. Now you can check the price on cabbage, and now you gotta walk all the way across town or bike it or drive it so you can save a little bit of money on cabbage. And then, man, peaches. I gotta pick up some peaches. Man, these peaches are expensive. Where do I get peaches? There's an app for that. And you can price check and go to the other place across town or maybe the next neighborhood or God, and there's, and you're like, toilet paper. There's an app probably for that too. Or maybe it's the same app essentially, but that's what it is. You go to one place, it's like, oh, the price is this thing. And then you go to, and it's being normalized. We are talking about it, yet nothing's really being done by it. So it's just we're just getting used to it essentially, which is not so bueno. And this may, I don't want to be like, watch out for inflation, but like, watch out for inflation. All of us, we should be watching out for like what do we actually do about it? What do we do so that these prices? Because it just seems so prices have always seemed so just like arbitrary and like to a certain degree made up. It's just sometimes like it's really evident in the price of, let's say, gas, right? The fluctuation in gas prices. Like, who is controlling that? Like, who does what? How do we decide that it's a $1.20 per liter, or like $1.10, or 90 cents, or 56 cents a few years ago, 10 years ago, and then reaches heights of whatever. I don't want to even say the numbers. Sometimes they're so scary out there. But the point is, there's an app for that essentially. That's what it is. So you can, the options of, so what do you do essentially if you come across an expensive chicken or an item, and that you come across chicken, you do whatever, walk out, just you see that chicken and be like, you know what, not tonight, chicken, come back, and then go to buy some. And that's what it is. That's what it is, man. So it's I feel like how do we actually tackle it? We make it so that everybody somehow can get access to their own little piece of land, if that may be something that is feasible somehow in the near future, so that people can, I don't know, that's a little bit maybe too far-fetched. If everybody had access to like a little bit of land, so you can grow a little bit of this, grow a little bit of that, do a little bit of the exchange with the old community, maybe that's too far-fetched, maybe that's too, who knows, maybe that's not realistic. In terms of city planning, we're talking millions of people here. Millions of us stretch out the city or something. I don't know. Plenty of land, plenty of goods and services to be distributed amongst everybody at a reasonable price. But that's the thing. So you can turn your back on the chicken, but that's just chicken. That's food. Okay, fine. You can that's what it is. You make little sacrifices here and there, but little by little, these things trickle down into every aspect of society, and then you go, I want to eventually be able to put a down payment on a house and start a family. I was speaking with a young man relatively actually close to my own age, and coincidentally actually named Roberto, which was pretty cool, not gonna lie. And we just got to chatting, and he's telling me, him and his fiance, his young wife, are now deciding to move to Edmonton for hopes of getting a little bit more value for their doll hairs, if you will. And a lot of people have done that, during the pandemic, right after the pandemic. A lot of people have had to resort to, well, it's the same old, if I see the chicken and the chicken titty is way too much, I'm gonna just turn around and come back another day, until you come back and be like, man, it's been like, this chicken breast is just like, man, maybe we should just like go somewhere else for chicken breast, or a piece of land, or an opportunity to get into the housing. But that is such a, that is like, that's where we're at right now. Realistically, that is a little bit of just, just for record's sake, just for the sake of like what is happening on the ground and where we go. And I do believe overall everything will be, we are trying, we are doing good things. I do hear budgets being dispensed for affordable housing and what have you, but I don't know what happens to these budgets. I don't know where the money goes. $300 billion, $300 million, $3 trillion, $2 billion. You hear these numbers. What does it mean? What does any of it mean? $2 million, $300 million for, what does that mean? What is that? You know what I mean? Like $300 million, $3 billion. What does any of it mean in terms of like where does the money go? Who is it? It's like trying to. Man, I don't even know what it is. It's a doozy. It's a riddle for the mind. It's it's like, how do we fight expensive, unaffordable things, good services, i.e. basic good services, housing, food, money, and saying no and coming back and checking on an app. Check an app. Is there an app for that? Check an app to see if there's like, if there's the average price of a house is like $800,000. Looking to pay like, upward of $1.2 million, $1.5 million for a 1-bedroom apartment in the city. There's an app for that. You can get it for, let's say, if it's like 1.5, you can maybe get it for like 1.4 or 5 and, save a buck. You know what I'm talking about? So there's an app for that, which is nice, and that's the future, man. You see something that's not, you know, to your liking, you know, there's an app for that. Get the app, man. You can't afford chicken tonight. Get the app, dude. You can't, you know. And that's your entire day is gonna be spent checking apps and going to different places. Cause man, you're here for the chicken too. Yeah, dude. I gotta make a run to the old. I gotta get some TP on sale down at, you know. And after that, I gotta, you know, hop across town just to get a little bit of, oh, what are grapes on sale at this, you know. But that's just, you know, I don't want to be, I don't want to be projecting. I don't want to be like, you know, but I do see the prices. Genuinely going shopping for myself as an individual, I have seen the prices go up and up and up. And I do wonder what that means in terms of, you know, and in relation to wages, in relation to, you know, sustenance. What is sustainable? Love good old sustenance. You wanted the fire. Squeaky, squeaky. Friction and titties. Always remember that. Point is, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of exciting things are happening in and around this beautiful planet. One cool story that I did hear, which I'd like to share with you guys. It's a cool story because it's an ongoing story. It's one of the oldest stories. It's been around. Maybe it's also amongst not the oldest business, but I bet it's amongst one of the oldest businesses out there. I'm talking about drug dealing and cartel families. Let us talk about cartel families for a second, if we may, together. Cartel families, I did hear this, and I did see a little video on the lines depicting El Chapo Jr. being arrested in Mexico. In Mexico, man. In Mexico. They got El Chapo Jr. I believe this is the second time being arrested. And man, oh man, that's the thing. You hear there's these like main drug kingpins that'll get notoriety, that'll get famous, that'll get busted. There's a story, and then there's movies about it, there's books about it, there's songs about it. There's, you know, they become a part of like popular culture as well. There's that aspect of it, but then there's like the genuine like individual who gets sentenced and goes to prison, and then his remaining family members and his large family of cartel gang members, they're there doing it. So this guy, El Chapo, goes to jail. His sons are out there apparently, as you know, he has offsprings, multiple. I believe one was killed. I believe he's got two other sons that I'm very, I'm aware of it on a real like surface level, because I it's not my thing to be like, oh, what is, what's up with El Chapo? I'm not, not interested that much. Like I know as much as I'd like to know, but there's definitely experts on the matter at hand. But that's the beauty of this thing, because we don't need to be experts to be able to talk about these issues. But the point is that I'm trying to get to what was I even trying to say? I was trying to say, ladies and gents, my phone rang and I got a little bit distracted. Not gonna lie to you guys, not gonna lie to you. But let's bring back the smoke. Let's reel it in for a second. Where were we? Talking about El Chapo Jr. getting arrested. That's where we were. Point is, he got arrested, but that's the thing. And there's apparently like I saw scenes in Mexico where like the cartel gang members associated with the cartel were like, doing cartel activities in a part of a city somewhere in Mexico, setting things on fire, driving really fast, showing signs of retaliation. And man, there has been I've always thought about this. Like I've only been to Mexico once, and oddly enough, out of all the times that I've had the privilege of visiting other countries and nation states, and doing a little bit of loop-de-loop in your hoods and what have you, that's one of the places that I actually didn't go to check out it. I stayed in the resort is what I'm trying to say. Most of the times when I travel, I go out of my thing, and like I don't even, I go around to discover the city, just what's happening here in this local neighborhood, what is that there. But that one time that I did go to Mexico, one time only, stayed in a resort, it was fantastic, one of the greatest vacations that I've ever taken in terms of like, man, food was amazing, beautiful people, super friendly, weather was excellent, through and through, a great experience. So that's my personal Mexico experience. I didn't get to see the other side, or are there multiple? I'm sure there's multiple sides, like to any city, to any country, to any nation state, to any place. There's good, there's bad, there's stuff in the middle. But I only got to see the beauty, like, you know, that Mexico had to offer. Having said that, I'm aware of, I'm a little bit aware of the fact that there's, you know, cartel business in Mexico, and they do illegal activities such as drug trafficking in and out of the country and other stuff too, I'm sure. Point is that, you know, his son, El Chapo's son, has now been arrested. But that's the thing with these cartels. It's like playing whack-a-mole with, you know, you get one kingpin, and he's just easily replaced by another kingpin, whether it be a family member or a rival gang member who's just like, oh, sweet. You know, El Chapo's out of great. My biggest rival is out of the picture. Now I'm, you know, El Chapo out. El Chapo out. El Chapo in. You know. That's how it tends to. So this is like. But again, the headlines or the news, I guess, is a little bit like, because I believe this week, if I'm not mistaken, RJT, Justin Trudeau's going down to Mexico, if I'm not mistaken. Same with Biden. He's going down to the Mexicos as well to get together with the, you know, Mexican officials and government officials, and have a chit chat about stuff that, you know, government officials from countries do, which is whatever. Point is that one of the things is like, oh, it's like showing, you know, oh, we're, you know, what is the solution? Because like that's the thing. What, you know, there's a lot of stuff that happens at the border, whether it's people coming in or whether it's, you know, substances coming in, good substances coming in or bad substances coming. Most often substances that are coming in are, you know, I'm saying, why don't we, my point is, we can all just nip it all in the bud if we were to just be like, yo, fam, let's do this. Let's, instead of fighting the cartel, you know, and this is, I guess, to my Mexican brethren as well. What if you guys, all of us here, and like, you know, because like, why am I saying that? Why is it impacting us? Because yeah, drugs travel from Mexico, from even further south than Mexico, sometimes from South America into Mexico, or from Mexico into the US, and from the US into Canada and other places in the world. And especially these days, you hear a lot of stories where people are ODing on fentanyl in this, fentanyl in that. Oh, what happened to your baby? Having cereal with fentanyl, he OD'd. Oh no, terrible. That's that, you know, why is your kid taking in cereal with fentanyl in it? I don't know. That's horrible. Your kid's got a problem, man. Always just chit-chatting, not being a hold down a conversation, just like, you know, jumping from one conversation to the next, not paying attention, or maybe he's just being a kid. So no wonder why you're not paying attention. He's just being a normal kid. Point is, your kid is going to soon OD on cereal-infused fentanyl. Or fentanyl-infused cereal. Yeah, there it is. There it is. That's the one. Point is, ladies and gents, how do we stop it? We have options. Option one is go down the path of let's fight the cartel. Let's, you know, keep fighting drugs. And you know, how do you fight the cartel? You fight the cartel by becoming the cartel. You fight the cartel by becoming the cartel. You get into the cartel. You wanted to smoke, you get the smoke. It's Friday. We're becoming the cartel. I am physically gonna personally take this endeavor and become part of the cartel. I am going into the cartel. This can't be stopped. It is happening. The wheels are in motion. I am now cartel. What would I do? I do a lot of things. What do I bring to the cartel? How do I sell this? What do I bring to the cartel? What don't I bring to the cartel? You want it done, I get it done. Except acts of violence. If you're like, but anything else, I am your dude. But violence, man, do you want trucks being backed up? Son, a beep right there. That's the truck backing up, because cartels and trucks backing up are like, it's a thing that they do, and I will easily back up a truck to get into, because that's what it is. If I gotta like start from the bottom, move up into the cartel, make my way to the, you know, become the old, you know, leader of the cartel, and then turn the cartel around and be like, guys, what are you even doing here? Let us reorganize our energies and focus on better things and turn the cartel around. That is one way of doing it, and it takes years, but I'm willing to do it, and I've started already. Yes, I've started already. Because that's the thing, man. You want cartel business, I bring cartel business. I talk on the walkie-talkie, fam. You don't even know. I got kids in the neighborhood on rooftops on walkie-talkies. I got chickens in the neighborhood with walkie-talkies. There's not an animal without a walkie-talkie in a radius of 20 kilometers. And that's just me putting it out there. And if I say 20, you can bank on it's 40 kilometers. I'm talking a radius of 40 kilometers. Every chicken, every monkey, every person under yay high carrying a walkie-talkie. That's how I run the cartel. With a tight iron fist. Fisting with a tight iron fist. Through and through. And I worked all the way up to it too, you know what I mean? Can remember like it was yesterday, just backing up trucks. Beep, beep, beep. What are you backing up there? Cargo for the cartel. What is it? I don't know. I really don't know. But this is what I'm trying to say is I'll do anything. Do you want, what are we doing tonight, boys? What are we doing at the cartel? Once the carteling is done, what do we do to just relax and just beat it together as a gang? You wanna take I can take a big knife and like just jam it in a table, and then we can just break out into like poker. You know what I'm talking about? Oh, feel good poker with that's how you initiate, like in a cartel. I've done it. You initiate a poker game so to build better bonds with the crew by taking a giant knife and just stabbing the table and like letting it stand there, and then whilst you're playing the old open hand Texas Hold'em, Fold'em, you know what I'm talking about? Who's got all the 6, 7 aces? This guy. What do you mean I'm cheating? Take out the knife. To reassure yourself safety, and also sort of like, boundaries. Hierarchy within the cartel. Oh, this guy's a loose cannon. Smoke is what you wanted. Smoke is what you'll get, son. And that's what it is, baby. From backing up trucks to all the way, maybe not like top boss, but like underboss. That's even better, because like there's no press. You don't want the press of the boss, dude. You could just be underboss and be like, I'm all gooch. Cartelled up. Man, living the cartel life, I have to constantly look over my shoulder. But that's just, because I stretch. And I crack a couple of necks here and there. Just for good practice, to make sure the cartel's running smooth. But you gotta set boundaries too, man. That's what it all comes down to, the old cartel. And I'm gonna go in there and be like, boys, we need to clean it up. So that's one way of doing it, you know what I mean? It's gonna take a long time, essentially, if we wanna fight the cartel by becoming the cartel. I'm gonna have to start distributing a whole ton of cocaine, essentially. And I need some startup money, and I need some startup cocaine. So, man, that's a whole, or we're like, yo, forget this cartel business. Let us partake in legal production of the goods in the US and in Mexico too. You guys should consider it. Really, all around the world, we should consider it. It's good practice, really. It's been done. As far as I'm concerned, in Portugal, where you legalize, or rather decriminalize drugs, and then, it's not a thing where people are like, oh, we're just gonna go and do a lot of, because people already do whatever they want to do. Hence the, supply and demand, and hence people run into the bathroom at all odd hours of the evening, in the middle of the nightclub, or just a regular house party. Just keeps going to the bathroom. Keeps going to the bathroom every half hour, every 45 minutes. Keeps going to the bathroom. All across the world, it's happening right now. People that are not technically using the bathroom for peeing or pooping, but are making a lot of runs to the old bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. Come with me to the bathroom. What are you guys doing in the bathroom? Group activities, bonding together, building relationships. That's what it's all about. You want the smoke. You got the smoke, baby. Whoa, watch out for the smoke. Point is, because you can go play around and be like, man, we caught the El Chapo. We caught El Chapo Jr. There's another one. And probably another one, these guys have kids. And if these guys don't have kids, there's other rival gang members who are just like, man, it's fucking like go time. And essentially what I don't want to happen, I don't know to how much of an, like, I don't know to, I don't know the extent of things that are unraveling in other parts of the world, but there's always a question in the back of my mind. I'm like, how much of Mexico is run by the cartel? You know what I mean? Because they've got a good influence. They're, man, they do things. I'm not saying anything because I don't know. I really don't. But from the years of accumulation of like data, news, stories, just saying, is, has it gone to the point of like no return? Are we dealing with like a cartel government? Low key, high key, but also if we're not, like, let's, nip it in the bud, because it's so easy to be like, yes, we're not, Mexico, we're not being run by a cartel government, and then other parts of the world were like, oh man, the US-Mexico border is oh so close and oh so close. So, we should get on that if it's a concern at all. But if it's not a concern, you're like, no, there's just a couple of cartels doing, it's a mom and pop cartel. It's a brick and mortar cartel shop, which is understandable to a certain degree or something. I don't know. Point is it scalable? All of it is. Absolutely. It can be done. It just takes a little bit of thinking outside the box, getting people educated. Yes, of course, we're going to have a time where people are like, man, we can do anything we want. We will have to go through the little, it's not going to be a smooth ride once you decriminalize everything. There is going to be a little uptick initially, but that's all right. We learn from those, and just like we've learned overall in history how to like, oh man, we can safely consume alcohol. We can safely consume marijuana. We can safely consume mushrooms, beautiful, beautiful psilocybin mushrooms. We can safely do these things. And of course you can abuse anything as well, so there's that. But yeah, if anybody wanted, wouldn't it be better to have like clean, pure, 100% pure, grade A, pure, uncut fentanyl if you wanted some, or cocaine, whichever. You're like, I just want to do fentanyl, man. Or like it's deadly, but you're like, I want it. Well, you know where I'm going with this. Make the pure, make the good right here. And instead of it being like, that's the thing, it's like industry too. Instead of it being some like, somebody like not taking a shower for days in the middle of some jungle, sweating and bleeding just because like, everybody's like walking around with a machete. You got cuts here, there, everywhere. There's, a little bit of bleach, a little bit of God knows what else. Fuel, chemicals, this, that, and is it even necessary? You know what I mean? Let's make the pure. We start making it snow up in this bitch. And, whoever wants to partake can do it in a responsible manner and enjoy, basically. Basically is what I'm trying to say. It's a lovely world that we live in. Lots of things that we're figuring out and lots of things that we're doing. Thank you so much for joining me today, boys and girls. Ladies and gents, where can you find these videos? Once again, every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. Follow me on Instagram. If you like these videos, check them out on YouTube. They're there. The full-length videos are there. Again, Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays. And if you'd like to fiscally support the show, see the show grow, it is an independent operation. I like to slowly but surely work with others down the line. I'm sure it'll happen in different shapes and forms. But for the most part, we are a one-man band. We are a one-man operation. We keep it loose, uncensored, raw material, just like fresh out the kitchen, baby. Serving it every week. And I thank you. If you enjoy these videos, talk about it, share it if you like. And if you don't like the videos, share it, talk about it until you start to like it. And if you're like, man, it's definitely not for me, that's cool too, because there's, that's what I believe in. That's the society I want, man. That's, there's everything for everybody. Just partake in whatever you like. And whatever you don't like, there's plenty of other stuff to choose from. But overall, it's nice to be, supportive of each other and just, uplift one another if we can together. And that's hence I'm gonna, after finishing up this video, I will go and partake in the rest of my cartel activity. I will be back on Monday. And you want the smoke, you know where to find it, baby. Peace out.